Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I really appreciate them. This is the daily forecast. It is for all signs. It is a broad spectrum collective reading, so I speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Nothing's broken. You're not on your path. You just might be working on something different at this time. This reading's originally created for Monday the 13th of March, but it's not solely set for that date. I do believe that readings can find us when we need them, so they can be timeless. But this reading is on a different date, but what I'm saying fits how you're feeling, what you've been thinking, or a certain situation you're dealing with. By all means, utilize the reading. For those of you that are new, please check it out, the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily videos. In there is some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel. Excuse me. What decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media. If you want to request a private reading, you can do so via my Instagram or my Facebook business page. Know that I will never solicit you for a reading. And then I will be, hit the thumbs up button, that's very important. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, that greatly helps. Leaving me a question or comment on the video, I do read them all and enjoy them. And sharing the video out, letting people know that I'm here, all helps too. I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning energy. That was yesterday's reading because that energy is at play, like underneath what we see from Monday through Saturday as we look at the cards each day. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about cards that you don't see in this particular reading, I'm referencing back to the cards from the Sunday reading. That populates in the lower left-hand corner. If you want to watch it, you can. It's at the end of this video. All right, so let's see what's going on. What do the cards need us to know? I was in such a deep sleep this morning. I mean, I can even hear the sleep in my voice. Like I'm like totally not even awake yet. Okay, so speaking of voices, it's the Five of Voices. This is the Five of Swords. Really beautiful, interesting art. The Five of Swords can be about debate, argument. Swords is the element of air and how we communicate. When I look at this image here, though, it feels like there might be an inner debate going on. I don't know why. I think it's because of the mirrored image of the same face of the two women. But also this drawing down here, because I'm thinking about yesterday's reading, which is the Sunday underpinning, which was the Nine of Cups, right? And in that Nine of Cups, she was also seated in like a meditative state, kind of feeling good, feeling right on the money, feeling fulfilled emotionally. This week should be kicking off for us in a very good way. Part of that is triggering this for me also because we see these women down at the bottom of the card meditating also. Do you see that? So where we saw the Nine of Cups as the underpinning energy, some of us might be doing the work today within our own thoughts, how we speak to ourselves, our own tapes in our head or the things that we believe. What we tell ourselves from, maybe our past experiences, how we treat ourselves mentally is going to be like at the forefront today. I think that there's an opportunity here today to get clarity around that. And from that clarity, we end up getting ourselves into that better or underpinning state of the Nine of Cups, right? Where emotionally we feel more fulfilled, in alignment. But to get into that alignment, we might have to look at some of the ways that we maybe undermine ourselves, or sell ourselves short, or just kind of like the dialogue that we keep with ourselves. And is it healthy? Is it supporting the kind of Nine of Cups outcome that we're supposed to be experiencing in the beginning of the week. So I think that this is actually a really good card in the sense that it not forces us, but it challenges us to become aware of our internal self-talk. It could be the talk of others too, because this card can represent, you know, like political argument or sparring, alienation, you know, where to win the fight, we may alienate others to prove our point, or vice versa. Someone else might alienate us in the process of trying to prove their point. But I'm getting that this is still, and from the Sunday reading, there was very much this independent vibe, right? Where the three cards had the singular women on it, where so it felt like whatever the decision was that we were pursuing, choosing, moving ourselves towards, it was for us and about us. And the fact that this is, yes, there's two female faces here, but it's the mirror image of them. It speaks to this idea that even if we're dealing with, like if we're debating within ourselves, it's good because we're creating change there. There's these olives, right? Like this olive branch of peace, but also olives to me make me think of fruitfulness, sustenance, and this light coming out of it also is making me think that, you know, we could come into a realization or an awareness of, actually, as I'm saying this, her face is like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been thinking that about myself this whole time. What have I been doing? And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this card, is there could be a little bit of a realization of where we may short-sight ourselves or undermine ourselves. And we get to look at that today. In looking at that and sitting with that, we end up changing it. We end up transforming it, is my feeling. Because fives are all about transitory. They're not like long-standing. They're oftentimes, they can be a bit annoying. Like the Five of Wands or the Five of Swords could be an annoying situation of argument. But to me, this feels like this is actually like a gift for us, where we get to kind of clean up our conversation in our mind with ourselves and where we hold ourselves in our world. And I think that conversation cleanup, it's because these women down here are meditating, in that conversation cleanup, in that shift or that change that takes place in the sort of voices in our head, we open ourselves up to more of that Nine of Cups fulfillment energy, where we feel more sound mentally, therefore emotionally, therefore spiritually. It all kind of interconnects and affects each other, right? And we need that because I hope I'm not getting sick again. We need that because there's that midweek sort of decision that I felt like was going on in the first of all, there's midweek work in the Sunday reading, and then there's like this decision towards the end of the week that we're making for ourselves. And I think that this card is representing getting the mental clarity around our thoughts and how we communicate with ourselves to better make that decision that's forthcoming, okay? All right, so let's go to the Miracles Now card. Okay, when in doubt, I choose to see peace. So the Five of Swords could indicate doubt, like I said, arguments, fighting, other people doubting us or trying to prove us wrong, or, you know, even ourselves, you know, undermining our own selves and producing our own self-doubt. To counteract that, we need to choose to see peace, whether that's peace within ourselves or peace within the situation that we're dealing with, or the person that we may be dealing with, or the, you know, the internal battle that we may be having. We need to, you know, with the grounding stone for the week is focus. We need to maintain our focus and move our focus towards more positive shifts and towards seeing peace and finding that peace within. And I think we're going to have it because that Nine of Cups underpins all of this. And there was this sense of very much a singular self-assuredness that's coming about this week for those of you. It will come up in different ways for each and every one of you, but it's here. And this is what we need to be doing This is the work we need to be doing and the focus that we need to be keeping to maintain this, to be able to move forward and make the decisions we need to make to get us where we want to be. Let's go to the clarifiers really quick. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. Come on. On the Seven of Swords. Damn it. I was hoping we were going to get 3 queens. That was going to be like Las Vegas moment there. I'm not mad at this though. It's interesting that there's 2 female faces on that 5 of Swords, and then we've got the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords here. 2 other female presences, right? This could be 2 conflicting. I'm gonna be honest with you. Somewhere we may be lying to ourselves, or we might be telling ourselves a story that isn't necessarily true. It could be a self-betrayal in a way. That would be the 7 of Swords in there, right? It looks to me like there might be an argument, or not an argument, but the Queen of Wands would represent the Queen of Spirit, right? And then the Queen of Swords would represent the Queen of Logic. So it's our mind and our spirit kind of trying to find balance and work together to maybe rid ourselves of areas where we may not be telling ourselves the complete truth or be willing to see the complete truth, if it's within a situation or dealing with another party. But again, when in doubt, I choose to see peace. So these women, these queens, they're strong and capable in each of their suits, right? The Queen of Wands is very much able to, I always use the word manipulation with her, but I don't mean it in a bad way. She's able to like manipulate and transform the energy to make things work in her favor. And then the Queen of Swords is extremely logical, right? She cuts away the bullshit. She's like my bullshit meter card. So like she sees through that sort of stuff. There's a truth here that we're seeing. There's something that we're learning today that does empower us because we have these 2 queens here. So ultimately, as we begin to learn it, we don't want to judge ourselves for it. We don't want to, get down on ourselves. What we want to do is we want to continue to create change. The Queen of Wands can also be a queen of action too, right? So taking action from that place of authority, holding ourselves to a high regard, represented by these 2 queens, and no longer allowing either situations or people or relationships or ourselves lie to us. Because that's essentially the 7 of Swords. He's kind of like the little thief of the deck, he's kind of like running off with everybody's thoughts or their communication. So whether it's us lying to ourselves in some way, shape, or form about a situation, a person, or, not looking at the elephant in the room, or it is, somebody actually lying to us, today's the day to figure that out. And when you do figure it out, which I feel as though you will, you're not only going to logically figure it out with the Queen of Swords there, but also intuitively, like spiritually with the Queen of Wands. And Wands and Swords, I do want to say, are complementary. Air feeds fire, and fire consumes air. So these 2 queens work really well together. There's an opportunity here for big growth and change. And I think that that's sort of what we're looking for as we move through this week, or at least that was the feeling that I was getting from the Sunday reading, is that we're starting to, set new endeavors, set forth new plans, and to do so, we have to be focused, and we have to be, in alignment spiritually and logically, and aware of what it is we're saying to ourselves or what others are saying to us that could potentially be holding us back or keeping us in that doubt. And then finding peace with that situation, or forgiveness for ourselves or the other person or the situation, so that we can move forward empowered. Here is the grounding stone for the day. I love it. It's on malachite, which is the heart chakra. So it is telling us to stay compassionate and loving, right? When in doubt, I see peace. But it's inspiration is the word. So, the grounding stone for the week is focus, and inspiration is, the sort of the root of the word is spirit, is that Queen of Wands there. What is the truth of what it is that we want or that we desire at a more soulful, spirit-filled level? What brings us joy? What inspires us? Where can we find and ground in that inspiration to begin to go about making the changes, the choices, the transformations, to change the way we speak to ourselves, or or allow others to speak to us, and to, you know, instead of getting all pissed off and getting into the blame game with them, find peace within that situation, because that peace, that when I'm in doubt, I see peace or whatever, that is going to free us from this all that much more quickly, if that makes sense. Don't get caught up in, if this Seven of Swords is somebody outside of you, like a situation or a person that betrayed you or lied to you, it's the lies happened, right? Or the situation has happened. It's fine to like learn from it and move on, is my feeling. You know, find your peace around it as quickly as possible and move on. Continue to focus towards what inspires you at the heart level, at the heart center, and move towards that today. That should be, you know, again, back to that word, your focus this day. So stay in your own inspiration for your own personal growth. Your own inspiration for changing the way you talk to yourself, how you see yourself or view yourself in your world, how you view what's possible for yourself within your world. And that inspiration too is going to be a high vibrational energy that's hopefully heartfelt, being that it's a malachite stone here. Hopefully we're channeling it through the heart chakra. We can achieve all kinds of really good stuff by doing that. I hope that makes sense, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tune in tomorrow as we watch the energy change. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined, share the video out, and leave me a question or comment. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.